Hello. You're talking to a recovering tonsillitis girl. Yeah. Okay, now I'm just being weird. Hey, it's little Mandy. Sorry if I look rank and I look like I've been sleeping or something, but I have. I stuck out the dogs, since I'm alone for a May long weekend, but I'm fine. Wow, I can even tell my voice how bad it is. Probably sounds real bad on video. But anyway, topic today is very simple. This topic is no tips or anything, but this is pretty much about an experience I had before I was pretty much went to Lighthouse and that Lighthouse and Sham. It's a different school. But I remember back in the 5th grade, it was not the most favorable moment in my life. I was bullied a lot, and it was just one of the main reasons why when I used to talk to a lot of people, they ignored me a lot. I didn't have much friends. Probably lucky the people I found were girls, but they were really nasty and said things behind my back. It was pretty much fake friends. I didn't really know what they were until I never actually knew anything about school. Pretty much, I didn't know anything. I just assumed it was something you learn because I was homeschooled for the few years before I got there. I was about 10 and that. It was very awkward year for me. I didn't really talk much. Kids made fun of me because when I speak, I was always fast talking because my brain is faster than my mouth. Trust me. It's not that I'm stupid or anything. It's just I have a fast brain. And one of the tough things when I was in school is that I used to always say I wanted to be a singer. Because one of my biggest dreams was to be a singer. And inspire people. That was my biggest dream. And it's still now to this day. The thing now is that I'm more different than I was when I was younger. I'm more confident, I guess. I never gave up the idea of it, but I lost interest in music after my dad passed away. I couldn't find myself again. It just seemed like I lost it, but I didn't give up. But I was looking for it. It's where's that piece of music I'm looking for? I'm looking for it. I need to know what music is again. A few years after my dad passed away, that was 2010. That was 4 years ago, I think. 2 years later, I started discovering myself again. Even of how hard my world was falling apart so much that I felt like nobody was could understand how I was feeling. Cause even if me and Dad we had troubles, I'm not gonna say it. I'm probably my family sleeps, but we did have troubles. Me and my dad can never communicate because we both were the same. We never expressed our feelings. We could never really express how we felt. But it doesn't mean that he was a bad dad. He was just we had our differences. Then we had our moments of we both understand things. But most things we focused on when we were younger. When I was younger, it was mostly I was into music and he was into music, so it kind of worked. And this is gonna be probably marked something I did in chapel. Persistent or something like that. It's something. It's like that. I'll type it down in my yeah. So any of you have went through this kind of stuff. This stuff is personal stuff. I don't know why I'm telling this, but just that I hope that you guys can relate to this kind of stuff. When I was in high school, it just seemed like I didn't have any friends. High school was online school. My friends are probably lucky, my cousins. I didn't have any real friends. I didn't even have any friends in 5th grade. It was pretty much I met a lot of people that never liked me, and that it just seemed like the years were going by over and over. And it just seemed. But it was okay. I always don't mind being alone, but it just seemed like I was a wandering soul for the past few years going into the 8th grade and 9th grade. But I just find myself, right around the 9th grade, I think I got more mature. Like, even if I thought I wasn't gonna, like, I was gonna be stuck in that whole, oh, I hate school and that. I don't want to be back in, like, public school. Public school ruined pretty much everything about me, my image and that. But, like, right after all of those stupid drama with stupid girls, stupid boys, it just seemed like I got into high school again, and it just seems different than what I expected. Because Lighthouse Christian Academy is like a private school. It's like small and that's convenient. Nice thing, but I may not get out as much. I may not speak to everybody in my class, but it doesn't mean I'm not gonna socialize. I do socialize with some people. And like, who can blame it? I've been through some messed up stuff. My dad passing, my mom disappearing for how long because of a really bad situation that I went through. It seemed like I had nobody to really rely on. It just seemed like I was scared the whole time, and the only person I probably had was probably my sister. Everybody else felt like everybody else was against me. Like, everybody else was there to, like, hurt me, and I just felt like that constant throw-in about myself. Like, my image is slowly trying to piece it back together, and I still have to piece it back together. Because I was younger, it would just seem like I was an innocent soul, and I still am, but, like, innocent, but some of the things that I went through, some things are not so bright. And like, sometimes when you have just that perfect childhood moment. I used to have one of those when I was younger. And it just seemed like everything was perfect, but I know it wasn't. Like those memories you don't want to remember. Those are the kind of memories I try to forget. It just seemed like now, like, even if I had the most messed up memories of being younger, and a lot of things happening, and some things I understand what was going on. Even if you can go through all the most messed up stuff in your life, like suicide from your friend, a dad or mom passing, siblings, fights, and that everything bad that happened, just remember, no matter what happens, you're not different from everybody. Everybody goes through all that. Everybody has a bad past. But I'm just saying, the difference between my story, a lot of teens, probably lucky, 50 chance, can move on from all that. And a lot of times, most kids my age, 18 or so, close to 18 anyway, can't make it through that kind of stuff, but I did because I rethought my whole life, like saying, if I keep on to this stuff, I'm just gonna constantly remind myself, saying that I should have done something better, but you can't change the past, but you can change your future. You can make it better. Just because somebody says something, or because something did happen, you think you can't move on, but you can. You may not forget the people, but you can move on and learn that a lot of people make mistakes. Especially me. I have made so many mistakes in my life. A lot of times it's just, we all have bad pasts. Doesn't mean that we're bad people. It's just that we had a bad past, made some bad decisions. Doesn't mean there's always good and bad people. There's just people that have made decisions that may have caused them, but it doesn't mean that they're bad people. Some people I know in my life have made bad decisions. I'm still friends with them. Just because somebody is a certain way, like big or long or skinny, doesn't mean that you have to like always portray them as oh, they're this kind of person, stereotypes kind of thing. And it just seems like now I can finally rest down on that. You know, everybody goes through all this, and especially now. Nowadays, teens are going through like cyberbullying and blackmail and so many, bad things can happen to a girl and a boy, especially a boys. I'm not saying that girls have like the most worst. Some guys can go through bad things too. I've seen it. Cutting, suicides and that. A lot of things like that happen because not that you're weak, it's just you've been strong so long. For so long, you can't handle it. And I know exactly how that feels because I was on the close to attempt to suicide. Like 8 years ago, so I was on the suicide because I was afraid of being who I was. But I'm not afraid anymore and I'm not giving up. And that's the thing is, the last 5 years, it just seemed like everything started changing. Last 5 years after that, everything started changing. And my attitude was, I'm more mature now and I know what I want. And I want to succeed in my life. I want to be a writer of books, songs, and I want to be a singer. And even speech, those people that go up and talk to people. Those kind of people, inspire people. Just go up on stage and inspire people. That's my whole dream has been about. And it seemed like people always say, oh, because you have a lisp or you have a trouble talking. Just because you have trouble talking doesn't mean you have one problem that you can't do something. You work it out. I'm getting better with talking. Doesn't mean that I should give up because I'm not good with talking. Every day, everybody goes through all this suicide talk. And I know, you call people weak, they're not weak. They've been strong for so long that they've given up. But I want the people who are thinking of suicide, and sorry, I'm talking straight to the people who are suicidal now. I want you to rethink of all the things you've done. Did you have help? Did you have any help whatsoever from any of your friends? Did your friends know anything about this? No. Maybe some of them did. Maybe some of them tried to help. And I'm saying is you're a strong person. You are. Just because you're thinking of suicide that you're weak, you're not weak. You've just been strong for so long, and I want you to rethink all this. And I want you to go to your parents, somebody that you're close to, and I want you to hug them and say that I love you in that, and I'm not gonna do suicide. I want to just move on, and I need your support right now to get me through this. And I'm not saying that you should be weak and go to your parents or something, or I'm just saying do something about it. I don't like seeing suicides on news or something about a girl or a boy dying. I don't like hearing about dying kids and that because it hurts me a lot too. And just think about the things you have now, the things that still remain, the things that you appreciate. I appreciate everything I have right now. Even if I'm in a bad situation or something, I still think of all the things that I have now. Something better. I actually have a roof over my head. I have food. I can work. I'm confident. I have all the stuff that I need to survive. The thing is, you gotta rethink of all the stuff that you went through. And say, I went through all that, and I can still live. I know I can. And I want you guys all to think about that, okay? So, the whole lesson of this today on this topic is no matter how many times you fall down, I want you to get back up. I want you to do that. Just keep doing it. Talk to me. Even if I don't know you, just talk to me. Tweet me, message me on some social media, and I'll come there and talk to you. You can barely even know me. I'll talk to you. Like this video, share it to somebody who's suicides, somebody who's going through a hard time. Share it, and I promise you that I'll talk to them. So I hope you guys all have a good, last bit of May long weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Little man, peacing out.